Hello, good morning, and good night, and welcome to DJ Crown's Plays. I'm DJ Crowns, and this is the second Minecraft Bedrock Redstone tutorial on the channel. So today is 2 days after New Year's, and I just want to say to all of you, Happy New Year. It's 2025. I hope y'all got all your New Year's resolutions ready and everything, and spent some time with your family and friends and whatnot. But anyways, today we have another two 1x2 piston doors to show off. But these two are flush piston doors, meaning they blend in with a flat wall, and they do not use any slime blocks or honey blocks. So first, we have the 1x2 flush with the upper sticky pistons pulling the upper block back into the side, as you can see there. And the way this one works is, when you click the button, it hard powers the block it's on, sending a pulse through the redstone dust underneath into the block next to it. The repeaters then take that pulse and send it into this block in the center with the two redstone torches on the side, briefly turning them off and opening your door with some specific timings on the left and right sides. And second, we have another 1x2 flush that pulls the blocks up and down, as you can see there. Both are quick and easy to build, and for 1x2 piston doors, these are by far the coolest in my opinion. But anyways, let's start with the 1x2 flush that pulls the upper block back to the side. For this build, you will need 56 solid blocks of any type, like smooth stone or cobblestone, 2 door blocks of any type, although if you want it to be hidden, they should be the same as your wall, 1 transparent block of any type, like glass and slabs, 11 redstone dusts, 4 redstone repeaters, 4 sticky pistons, 2 redstone torches, 2 wooden buttons, and 1 target block. So as you can see, the door takes up an 8 by 7 by 6 block area. The floor sits 2 blocks off the ground, in line with the 3rd block or the diamond block here. The gold and netherite blocks are laid out so you can easily get the proper spacing for the build. The quartz blocks represent all the area where the redstone goes, and the iron blocks are for the rest of the build. Now with that out of the way, let's begin. So first, we're going to come to the bottom left corner of our 8 by 7 area and count 4 spaces to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a solid block and a piece of redstone on top. Next, we are going to count 1 block forward, place a temporary block, a block on top of it, 2 blocks behind it on the ground, and remove the temporary block. We then are going to count 1 block forward from the last block we placed, place a temporary block, a block on top of it, a block behind it, and remove the temporary block. Next, we're going to come to the last block we placed once again and count 1 space forward, place a temporary block, a block on top of it, a block behind it, and remove the temporary block. Just like that. We now are going to come back to the front where we placed the redstone dust, skip 1 block forward, and place 2 repeaters facing into the middle block. Just like that. We then are going to take our redstone torches and place them on both the left and right sides of the block the repeaters are pointing into. Just like that. Get out of here. Next, we're going to swing around to the back side and place a piece of redstone on the block furthest from the torches. Just like that. Skip a block forward, and then place a repeater pointing into the center block. Now we're going to swing back around to the front, and from the block with the second repeater, so right here, place one block to the left, redstone dust on top of that, a temporary block in front of it, just like that, and a sticky piston on top of that, facing upwards, and remove the temporary block. Next, we're going to come back to our redstone torch on the left side and count one block to the left. So right here, one, and place a block. From here, we are going to count one more block to the left, one, place a temporary block, a block on top, place another temporary block coming out from that to the front, place another block on top, and remove both temporary blocks underneath. Just like that. Next, from our redstone torch, we are going to place two redstone dusts on the blocks we just placed on the left of it. Just like this. And we then are going to take our glass block and place it on top of the last piece of redstone dust we place. Just like that. Next, we're going to come to the glass block we just placed, place a temporary block on top of it, a block to the right of that, remove the temporary block, and finally place three redstone dusts like this. 1, 2, 3, just like that. We now are going to come down to the redstone torch on the right side, count one space to the right, one, and place a block. We then are going to place one more temporary block, one space to the right of that, right there, a block on top of it, remove the temporary block underneath. Next, we're going to take our last redstone repeater and place it coming from the redstone torch pointing to the last block we placed, so like this, and set it to 2 ticks delay by tapping left trigger or right clicking it once. We then are going to crouch on the block with the redstone torches, place a block on top of the repeater, but be careful not to mess up the 2-tick delay on the repeater. Next, we are going to place a temporary block on top of the torch on the right side. So right here, temporary block. A target block on top of it. A block coming out to the front from that. And then remove the two, or a block to the right of that. And then remove the 2 temporary blocks. Just like that. Next, we're going to take our redstone dust and place it on the blocks we just placed, except the target block, but make sure the redstone connects to your target block. Like this. We now are going to take our sticky pistons and place one on top of the target block facing to the left. Just like that. And another one right beside that. We then are going to place another sticky piston facing us on the back sticky piston. Just like that. And our door blocks on the lower and upper piston faces. Just like that. Next, we're going to come back down to the redstone dust at the front of our build and place a block on top of it. A block, or 2 blocks to the left of that. 1 block forward, and 2 blocks to the right, with a wooden button on top of the block above the redstone dust. Next, we are going to come to the right of our door blocks and place 3 blocks up from the floor like this. 1, 2, 3. 2 blocks to the left and 2 blocks coming back down, surrounding our door and blocks. Next, we are going to swing around to the back side and place a block on top of the redstone dust furthest from the torches. So right here. 2 blocks to the right of that, 1 block forward, and 2 blocks to the left. Whoops, not like that, like that. With a wooden button on top of the block above the redstone dust. Next, we're going to place 3 blocks in a straight line coming from the lower piston arm to finish our floor. 1, 2, 3. And now all that's left is our walls. So now from the back left side, we are going to place 2 blocks in a straight line above and below our piston arms on the left side. 1, 2. 1, 2. And then 3 more from the floor up in line with our piston arm. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. Next, on the back right side, we are going to place 3 blocks in a straight line in line with the glass block and create a temporary staircase. Just like that. Climb up the staircase and place 1 block next to the sticky piston arm, and then 5 in this little C shape on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finally, drop back down to the back side and place 1 more block under the right side, and bam! Your 1x2 flush piston door that pulls the upper block back into the side is now done. Moving on, we also have the 1x2 flush that pulls the blocks up and down. And for a 1x2, this is by far my favorite. But anyways, for this build, you will need 52 solid blocks of any type like smooth stone or cobblestone, 2 door blocks of any type, although they should match your wall if you want it to be hidden, 3 transparent blocks of any type like glass and slabs, 8 redstone dusts, 4 sticky pistons, 4 repeaters, 2 redstone torches, 2 wooden buttons, and 1 target block. So as you can see, the build takes up an 8x4 by 8 area, and the floor sits 2 blocks off the ground in line with the 3rd block up, or the diamond block here. So first, we are going to come to the bottom left corner of our build and count 3 spaces to the right. 1, 2, 3. Place a block. We then are going to place a temporary block right behind, a block on top, and then remove the temporary block underneath. Next, from the block we just placed, so right here, count 1 space forward, place a block on the ground, count 1 block further forward, place a temporary block, a block on top of it, a block behind it, and then remove the temporary block. We then are going to count 1 more space forward from the last block we placed and place another temporary block, a block on top of it, 2 blocks behind it, and remove the temporary block. Just like that. We then are going to come back to the front of our line of blocks we just placed, and on the front block place 1 redstone dust, so right here, skip a block forward and place a repeater pointing into the center block, and we then are going to take our 2 redstone torches and place them on both sides of the center block. Next, we're going to come to the block with the repeater, place a temporary block directly to the left of it, with a sticky piston on top of it facing upwards. Just like that. And remove the temporary block underneath. We then are going to swing around to the back side and place 2 redstone dusts on the blocks furthest from the redstone torches. So swing around here. 1, 2. Skip a block forward and place a repeater pointing into the center block. Now coming back around to the front of the build, we are going to place a block on top of the torch on the right side, a temporary block on top of that, a block behind that, so right here, a glass block on top of the temporary block, and remove the temporary block. Just like that. Next, from the block behind the glass block, place a temporary block on top of it, a target block to the left, a glass block on top of the temporary block, and remove the temporary block. Just like that. We then are going to place 1 block on top of the target block, just like that. 1 coming out to the front, towards us, a block on top of that, a piece of glass coming to the right, and finally take our sticky pistons and place them facing downwards like this. Next, we are going to come back down to the redstone torch with the block on top. So right here. And place redstone dust from the torch running all the way up to our glass blocks. And make sure the redstone dust connects to your target block like that. Then at the top, we're going to place 1 block on top of the front piston, just like this. And then place 2 repeaters set to 2 ticks delay, connecting to our redstone dust, 1 pointed into the block on top and 1 directly into the other piston beside. Just like that. Now we're going to come back down to the front of the build and place our last sticky piston on the left side of the target block facing us. So right here, we're going to take our sticky piston, place it right there, and then our 2 door blocks on the piston faces. Just like that. Now all we have to do is fill in the floors and walls. So next we are going to come over to the redstone dust at the front of the build, place a block on top of it, 2 blocks to the left of that block, 1 coming forward, and 2 to the right, sorry. And finally a wooden button on the block above the redstone dust. Next we are going to come to the right side of our door blocks and place a temporary block on top of the block with the redstone torches. So right here, temporary block. We then are going to place 2 more blocks on top of that temporary block, just like this, and then remove the temporary block. Next we are going to place 3 blocks on the right side of our door blocks, coming up from the floor, 2 blocks to the left, and 2 blocks coming back down, surrounding our door and blocks. Now we're going to swing around to the back side and place a block on top of the piece of redstone furthest from the redstone torches. So right here. 2 to the right, 1 forward, and 2 to the left. Just like that, with a wooden button on top of the block above the redstone dust. Next, we're going to place 3 blocks in a straight line coming from our piston arm below to finish off our floor, just like that. We then are going to come back to the left side and place 2 blocks in a straight line towards us. 1, 2. 2 more blocks up from that. 1, 2. And 1 block to the right covering the piston arm. Next, we're going to come to the back right side this time and place 3 blocks in a straight line from the front wall towards us. 1, 2, 3. We then are going to place 3 more blocks on top of that. 1, 2, 3. And 3 more blocks on top of that. 1, 2, 3. And bam! Your 1x2 flush piston door that pulls the blocks up and down is now complete. I just want to say real quick too, if you want to move the input lines, it's very simple for these doors. Let me just show you it working too, just being there y'all go. But you can just extend this line out wherever you want, and same with the other side. Extend it out to wherever you want. But then if you wanted to do it on the other door, same thing. Just extend this line out to wherever you want. And yeah. If you also wanted to add on a pulse extender though, all we got to do, it's actually very simple for these doors, so we're just going to grab these real quick. If you want to add on a pulse extender so the door stays open a little bit longer, just make a little shape like that. We removed that one piece of redstone dust. We actually didn't even need to remove the 1 block, to be honest, but just place a couple blocks like that. Place 1 comparator facing into that block. Comparator facing the other direction directly beside it, and 2 redstone dusts right there and 1 right there. And now when we click the button, bam, it stays open for much longer. And you can expand these as well, like if you wanted it to stay open even longer, you can just go like this and then add in another 2 comparators right here. And now you'll see when we click the button, it stays open for even longer. Beautiful. Now the other one, it's the same thing. Literally, it's the exact same thing. So we're going to just literally go like this. 4 blocks like that. Take our comparator, place it right there. Another comparator facing in the opposite direction is important. They're facing the correct directions. And then we place 2 redstone like that, and bam. Now your door stays open for even longer. Also, you can add on, like, if you want key cards and like hidden inputs. There's a whole bunch of them you can look up. I'm not going to bother showing them off right now, but anyways, I hope you all had a great time learning how to make these 2 different 1x2 flush piston doors in today's tutorial, and I hope it was easy enough to follow along and understand. In the next redstone tutorial, we will be covering flush 1x2 piston doors using slime blocks this time. So keep your eyes open for that one, and I'll see you next time. Please like, comment, and give me any suggestions you may have. This has been your friendly neighborhood DJ Crowns, and we're outta here.